So if you're wondering what broadcast this is or where you landed in my home studio. I'm still doing the show from home. Gov's Radio is still not really in the studio. We have a couple of shows, I think, going on in the studio. Mine is not one of them. So welcome everybody. I hope you're having a great Thursday. My Thursday was very hectic. We are having the last bit of Mars before it goes into retrograde. So we are probably feeling a little bit of a shift in energy, but tonight I'm going to talk all about that, and I'm going to talk a lot about the September astrology and how it's going to affect all of us. So what I'm going to try to do is the first Thursday of every month will be an astrology show, and then we'll take it from there, guys, okay? So I just, as you know, have to do a little bit of housekeeping and got to see who's online here, get you guys all settled and see what's going on. Here we are. Hi, Georgia. It's pretty weird seeing yourself on like 3 different monitors in your home, but that's what's going on right now. So I'm going to give all of you guys a chance to log on. I know you're all really excited about tonight's show, and I can also, if I can answer any questions about anything astrologically tonight, we're going to do all astrology tonight, okay? So I just have to go down here, You guys know the drill. And there I am. You know, Facebook changed their format recently, and every time I go on page, I'm like looking for stuff, and no matter how many times, I'm not used to it quite yet, so it's a pain in the neck. So hopefully, I don't know, I have to give Sally, my my wonderful engineer, a call and find out when I'm going to be back in the studio and have guests and everybody again. Should be soon, right? We should be almost back to normal, hopefully, barring any other outbreak of our COVID-19. Here I am, live, back at Gov's, back on the Gov's page. Okay. Here I am. So let's see who's online to visit with me tonight. Who have I got here? There's always a 5-minute delay. So hopefully some people will be coming on now. I got 8 people online it's telling me about. Don't know who they are yet, but we will soon. So I want to talk about the September astrology. There's a lot of things going on that are pretty impactful this month. And if I can, you know, just start a discussion with all of you. Anything you want to know, just, you know, log on, comment, and I will see if I can actually, you know, answer your comments live and everything. So I'm just going to post, hi everybody. So we're just coming off an amazing full moon in Pisces that happened actually last night at 1:35 a.m. So it was actually September 2nd, but it felt more like September 1st, right? And that was a very powerful full moon. I don't know if any of you are still feeling that. You'll probably feel it for a few days. It actually came in and made some aspects to Neptune, which made us feel very emotional, made us feel a little bit dreamy, and also can sometimes bring out deception or things that are, you know, maybe a little deceitful, or also illusions. You know, breaking through of our own illusions. I know myself, I had a weekend where I broke through of a lot of illusions. Some good, some not so good, but whatever I could say, it was done. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit on tonight's show. I actually wore, because I feel like things are getting very heated, because Mars is going retrograde on the 9th. We're going to talk about that. So if any of my lovelies out there want to run and get a pen and pencil or something to write on, because I'm going to give you some really great dates to be looking out for and doing stuff with and all that. Hey Gina, hi Bonnie, hi Janine, hi Sarah. Janine, I know you texted me before the show and you said, what's going on with the energy? But I figured you could just tune in and I'll answer, okay? Hi Mickey, how are you? Elisa's on, great crowd tonight. So we got a lot of dates to talk about, but first I want to just talk about something that happened to me this week, because I always try and be a little bit kind of personal on this show. I like to learn from my lessons and I like to share them with you if I can learn also. I actually wore, I don't know if you can see because my camera, I wore my peace sign angel wing shirt tonight. I've had this shirt for a couple of years. I bought it at Saks Fifth Avenue. This really amazing designer who does these really cool t-shirts, and they don't carry them anymore. So I wish they did because I love her t-shirts. But anyway, I feel like the energy is heating up a lot, especially with the politics going on in the world and some other, situations. So I'm really trying to put peace out there, peace, peace, peace. So if everybody can just take a moment when you're doing your meditations and your prayers, really send peace out to the world. Because I think we're getting more and more and more divided. I think there's really, without getting political, I'm not going to talk about any particular candidate here or any particular party or race or sign or religion or any of that. To me, we're all souls and we're all human, and we should all be, plugging for the human race. And so I think that there's some things right now that humans are doing that are really not good. And they're going to really affect us for a long time to come. So if we could all in our meditations just send some prayers out for the unification, the unity of humanity, because I think we really need to get back into our soul space and the spaces of our hearts, and I'm hoping that we do that this month. We have a lot of really great energy coming in, but it's also a lot of very forceful energy. So what happened to me this week? Well, I've been really busy. I haven't been doing my Tuesday night lives because I've been really overwhelmed with a project at my home. I'm actually renovating part of my house to have a studio downstairs so I can do all my videos and my live classes and all those things. And that space became available in my home because a friend of mine passed away who was staying with me for a while. And so, he had someone who was close to him, a partner that was supposed to be cleaning out his space and all of that stuff. And that never really happened. So for whatever reason, I ended up having to clear out the whole part of my house that he was living in and get rid of a lot of stuff. And it was a lot. And I have to say that it was quite cathartic for me because I have a pattern in my life of always having to clean up other people's messes. And I really thought I was over that at this wonderful age that I am, and that I now was in a place where people were not going to be dumping their shit on me. But unfortunately, this weekend, that was done again. And so I really went through a lot of emotion, a little bit of anger. I'm reading Thich Nhat Hanh's book about anger. I think I mentioned that a couple weeks ago because I feel like there's so much anger in the world, and I'm not really a person prone to anger. But it made me a little bit angry that I had to take time away from my life purpose and the things that are important to me in order to do all this work. And it just made me feel really badly. And it made me also feel very badly for my friend that died, because I felt like the people he entrusted to do this for him and take care of his things for him and his business for him in the end really did not step up and do the right thing by him. So long story short, I was feeling a little pissy about it and, feeling, I guess, in my humanness, but yet doing the right thing and grateful for the opportunity to have the space back again, even though it was not under the most ideal circumstances. So I was really, getting into a little bit of a negative headspace, even though it was cathartic and stuff. And then today I actually had a spiritual guidance session with one of my friends, that mentor friend, and was telling her the story and how, there's a pattern in my life, and I thought I was pretty much over this, and I thought that I was no longer going to be cleaning up other people's messes and having all these things dumped on me. And she said, but Georgia, what a wonderful lesson for you that you are getting rid of shit that doesn't belong to you. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. This is the final catalyst of the lessons that I have learned. And every bag, hundreds of bags of black bags of crap carried to the curb, because newsflash, no one wants your crap when you die. Found that out with my parents. And I try to keep a real minimalistic approach to things for that reason. I don't want anybody to have that responsibility when I'm no longer here. Just there's nothing that you need to keep. There's nothing you need to, sweat the small stuff over. So when she said that to me, it really opened me up, because I was like, wow, what a lesson from the universe, and really taught me that I am in the end of those patterns. And this is the universe showing me that as I carry each bag of someone else's stuff that doesn't belong to me to the curb, and just shedding it all and getting it all off me. And I have nobody's stuff in my life anymore, and I have nobody's obligations, pressure, nothing. I have a life now that, although it took me a decade, no longer is filled with other people's BS. And I've put it all back on them where it belongs, and I own my things, and that's all I'm responsible for, is my karma in my life. Because I think sometimes we have a tendency to live other people's karma, and we don't realize we're doing it until it's too late and we're really thick in it. And so this was a really big lesson for me this weekend, that here I was cleaning up, cleaning out, getting rid of what doesn't belong to me for the final time. And in it, I was thinking of it in a darker way, and thinking, wow, this happened to me again now. I'm in a situation that doesn't really belong to me, having to step up and perform a duty and be responsible in a way that I shouldn't have to. And I really missed the mark on that one. And thank you so much to my spiritual mentor today for really opening that door for me, because I feel so much better now that I'm not stuck back in the mire, that I've actually cleaned the stall. I've cleaned the horse's crap out of the stall, and it's this beautiful new place now that I can put some things. And I tell that story because that is really the energy of September. And what we're going to see this month is a lot of change and more of the same energy that we've had all year with 2020, etc. But we're also going to see some more optimism and a little bit more positiveness, especially later in the month when the sun goes into Libra. Because right now we're really in a critical mindset. Virgo is a very critical energy, and Virgo is very heavily aspected with Mercury and the sun both in Virgo. Mercury is going to change signs as well this month. We'll talk about that. I'm going to go through dates sequentially, chronologically for all of you. But this month is a month where, if I had to really tell you what the best use of the energy is, it is self-care. Really important this month to be in self-care, whatever that is for you. We can discuss some things about that at the end of the broadcast. But this month is a very hypercritical month. Virgo is a hypercritical energy. We get into our critical minds. We judge ourselves. We judge others. We want an answer, and we want it to be within the narrative that our critical mind is telling us. And that's why you're seeing so many things come to a head in the world right now with these rioting and the division between people, because that Virgo energy is very heightened, and it's critical of it. It wants it to explain. It wants it to be logical, and it's not going to be. So I'm going to start out with the fact that we're coming off, I have all my notes, we're coming off a really big full moon where it was aspecting Neptune, and especially Pisces is ruled by Neptune. The full moon was in Pisces. That was yesterday morning at 1:32. And I'm still talking about that full moon, even though it was over 24 hours ago, because full moon energy usually lasts about 3 days heightened, and then until the new moon. So full moons have a tendency to end things and begin new things. That's the cycle of the moon, and then play out until the new moon. There's a lot of aspects with that moon that gave us what I call the feels, really made you feel really emotional, etc. So we're going to go through all this energy today, and hopefully give you some key dates. I'm also going to talk a little bit about Mars retrograde and how that's going to affect each one of you through the signs. So, okay, so we talked about the full moon, that we're still in that energy. That full moon is actually going to set the tone for quite a lot in this month. The best use of the energy this month is planning, organizing, and self-care. Get yourself to a point where you are focused on what you really want, because September 17th, put that date in the calendar. September 17th is a new moon in Virgo. And that new moon in Virgo is like a catalyst. It's like such a hot spot for us to be able to manifest. You're going to manifest at an alarming rate on that new moon on 9/17. But before we get to that, we have some other things happening. Biggest thing happening over the next few days is Mars is going retrograde. And Mars has been the planet responsible for all this energy we have with the breakups, the makeups, the the aggression in our own lives, the annoyances. There's a lot of energy this month that's just annoying. You're going to still find that. But Mars going retrograde is actually going to go back to a point in the year where all of this stuff started. It's going to be a retrograde season where we go back to the energy from April and May. And we're going to feel that a lot. But the reason it's happening now as we close the year out is to give us a chance to get it all right and do it all to the way we're supposed to be doing it. So that retrograde Mars is like a heating up. It's a heating up of the energy, the aggression. Mars is the gas in the car. Mars is the fiery red planet. Mars is hot. It wants what it wants. It's aggressive. It's the warrior. It's also valor and courage. So if you use that valor and courage for assertion, it's really going to help you to create the life that you want, and really going to help you put things in place so that 2021 can begin like an idealism of what you really want your life to be. Because Mars is going to be in the sign of Aries until January 6th. So, and it's retrograde in that sign until November 13th, 3 times as long as it normally is. So you want to utilize that energy. Truth be told, it's going to make everybody hot under the collar. It's going to make people erupt. It's going to make people easily triggered. But if you're an evolved person enough and you're aware of the energy, you can get inside it and use it to really assert you to the place you want to be in your dreams. So really important this month to self-care, plan and organize, and focus on what you really want. However, no major decisions. Don't do the breakup, don't do the move, don't do the investment, don't do the career change. No. This is a planning stage. This is getting your ducks in a row. This is focusing on what you really want so the universe can bring it to you, but you're not ready to receive it quite yet, okay? So that Mars retrograde, how is it going to affect all of you individually? First thing it's going to do is Mars retrograde, if you're in Aries, you're going to feel it the most out of any other sign in the zodiac. Mars retrograding in your sign means that you are going to be very aggressive. You're going to feel it in your libido, sex drive, and career. This is a time when you really want to stay cool, because if you can get into the higher octave of the energy and that assertion, that valor, and that courage, instead of the flipping off the handle at everybody, you're going to have a lot of opportunities presented to you that you can take advantage of. Probably after Mars in November goes direct, they're really going to come to fruition. If you are a Taurus, this is fresh starts for you. This is acceleration in your career sector. Tauruses are very lovable people, and when Mars is retrograde for Taurus this time in Aries, it's going to make that even more emphasized. So you're very lovable right now, Taurus. And it's going to bring a lot of peace and calm. The only change this may bring for you, Taurus, is possible travel. All right? If you are a Gemini, this is your work and personal life balance. Out of all the signs in the zodiac, Gemini, you are the least affected by Mars in Aries. So you're almost in the safe zone here, Geminis, but it will affect you in a work-life balance. Also, skip any travel, because there could be mishaps in travel. Now, mishaps could mean the plane's delayed, the bus, you missed the bus. It could also mean a minor accident, but I would be very, very cautious if you have to travel between now and November 13th. Cancer, this is a test for you. It's a test of your finances and your long-term decisions. This could also be in romantic relationships. So Cancers, you want to put off any long-term decisions until after November, but look at what's going on. Be the observer, especially when it comes to finance. Watch what's going on, because you're going to be tested a little bit in that department. Leos, this is quarreling with your partners possibly. This is you reassessing your personal and career lives. You may, if there's an inequity or an unbalanced portion, you may decide to be more at play because you've been working too hard, or vice versa. And it may cause a problem with your partner. On the other hand, if you go into the assertion and the higher energy of Mars retrograde in Aries, then for you, Leo, this is going to create an adventure for you and your partner. So the energy can be either explosive or adventurous. It's up to you and your free will. Virgos, this is in your health sector, so I want you to be really careful with your health. Self-care, self-care, self-care. The worst thing Virgos can do in this energy is overwork. If you overwork yourself, Virgo, you're going to pay the price. If you take really good care of yourself, pamper, get the massages, spend time with yourself, don't allow not unnecessary distractions or toxic people, places, or things in your life, you may have a really great romance coming in. But you've got to be calm to receive it. All right? So really take care of your health. Be calm and healthy. Libra, this is actually going to bring in some joy for you. Libra, this is a time when you use your emotions to actually reassess your life. Retrogrades are a reassessment of the energy. So with Mars retrograde, for all of us, it's going to be a reassessment of where we're putting our energy, what we really want to put our time and efforts towards. For you, Libra, this is relationships. And what's probably going to happen is you're going to reassess some relationships, and don't be surprised if something from your past comes back. Enjoy it, but don't go overboard with it. All right? Scorpio, this is in your home section. So you want to definitely evaluate. Mars is your ruler, Scorpio. So this is very powerful for you. You want to remain calm and careful. Especially also it could affect your career, especially if your career has anything to do with homes, selling of homes, investment of homes, things like that. Or if you work at home or do a home business, this could affect you. This is issues coming up, but you fix them quickly. So you're going to have a lot of fires to put out, Scorpio, in the home and work sector. Mostly home, or if you work from home, that kind of thing. Or sell homes and work with homes. Sagittarius, avoid travel. I hate to say that to you, Sagittarius, because I know you love to travel. If you do have to travel, really, really, really be careful. Plan ahead. Make sure you have everything you need. Double check, triple check, quadruple check the schedules. Leave on time. Leave yourself plenty of room. And also communication, really be careful of how you are speaking, the words you are using, etc. Because it can lead to disputes. This is all during the Mars retrograde, September 9th to November 13th for everybody. Capricorn, this is money issues. This is shuffling money around, reevaluating the way that you earn money, spend money, save money. I would really be careful not to invest. If some investment comes along between now and November 13th, wait till after the 13th, okay? Aquarius, this is watch your words. This is total communication for you, and especially communication on the computer. So watch your posts, your emails, your texts, all that kind of stuff, please, Aquarius. Because I already did Libra, David. You'll have to watch the video back. Because Aquarius, this is really, communication can be heightened. And it could be a situation where you respond to someone online or you send something and you hit that button to send it and you immediately regret it. So really check your texts, check your emails, go over everything before you send. Pisces, this is attention to self-care, health. And self-care, I don't mean just getting massages, eating right, going back to the gym, etc. This is also your professional life, how you're caring for your whole life. How are you including yourself in your life to a point where you are cared for, nurtured, feeling loved, and feeling like you're in a space of respect for self. So Pisces, that's going to really be for you this month, and spiritual connection with that self-care as far as meditation, spiritual connection, ritual, church, those kind of things. All right, so that's the Mars retrograde for everybody through every sign. And that is, again, till November 9th, September 9th to November 13th. So keep that date in your mind, that is a time when you want to be extra cautious, all of us, with our words, our deeds. The real question during Mars retrograde in Aries is, what are you giving your attention to? What are you allowing to push your buttons in your life? Where can you go in your life to create more space for love instead of frustration or anger or aggression or any kind of negative emotion that is fiery and combative and easily triggered? How can you bring more love in to push those emotions out? That's really the lesson behind the Mars retrograde. And wherever Aries falls in your chart, whatever house it's aspecting, that is where you're going to be taught that lesson. So it's a lot of clearing. It's a lot of going back and forth with relationships and things like that. But this is, for all of us, and Mars stays in Aries until January 6th. That's a tremendously long time. Usually Mars is in a sign maybe 4 to 6 weeks. It's been in Aries already a couple of months. So that's a really long time. When planets go retrograde, and we're going to talk about a few retrogrades this month, when planets go retrograde, it means they slow up. And when a planet slows up, it's closer to Earth usually, and it is more powerful. So whatever the spiritual lesson of that planet is, it becomes more heightened for us when it goes into a retrograde motion, right? So Mars, assertion, aggression, anger, boundaries, it becomes more loud about those things in our life and on the global stage. So you really want to pay attention to your words, your communication, the way you speak to yourself, and what's going on in your own life. What triggers you? The next time you're in traffic and someone cuts you off, what about that triggered you? Really dive deep and unpack those emotions, because that is really the lesson of Mars retrograde. Okay? All right, so we went through the full moon. I just want to say one more thing about the full moon. This full moon is, and we're still in the energy. The full moon is almost like a dream that may have gone wrong, and now this month we have a chance to correct it. So that's really the energy of the full moon. Uranus is trining the sun, which makes it very unsettled energy. This is expression in a practical way. Whatever is breaking through or broke through for you in the last 48 hours or breaks through for you in the next 24, really seriously look at that, because whatever is breaking through for you now is what you're going to be working on for the next and till the end of the year. All right. There's a huge wave of positive Earth energy coming in. We've had those 3 major planets in Capricorn since January. Feels like forever, right? What I call the Capricorn crab, the Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto. That is still in Capricorn. Now we have Uranus and Taurus, which is Earth energy, and we've got the Sun and Mercury in Earth energy. That could be the energy shift that you felt a few days ago, because we have 6 planets in Earth right now. That's a very grounding, very heavy energy, and it is an energy of practicality, which we all need right now. It's an energy of really, grounding us and giving us stability, the stability we need to make the changes that are happening around us. So this energy really is a gift from the universe. But the sun and the moon are trining Uranus, not just the sun. And what happens is Uranus is the great awakener. So around the time that we're in right now, today's the 3rd, I would say until about the 5th, this is energy of awakening. And that's why I say really kind of be the observer. What's breaking through, what's coming up for you with this full moon that we just had, because that is the energy that's going to awaken you between now and the end of the year. All right. So now during the full moon, we also had Venus opposite Saturn. Saturn is at 25 degrees of Cap. Venus is still in Cancer. This is, you want to care for your loved ones. You want to love your loved ones. You want to hug the babies and spend time with your lover and do all these things with people that you really care for. Maybe even just go out for a drink with your coworkers. But there's something in the way. So that Venus Cancer energy just wants us to be loving and safe and at home. But there's something limiting that. Saturn is coming in. It's the authority. It's producing a boundary. And there's some reason why something or someone that we want is just out of our reach. And that energy is going to stay with us a little bit this month. And the reason it does that is to show us, what are we really focusing on? And is it really worth it? There's an expression, is the juice worth the squeeze? Well, that's what you got to ask yourself. So I'm going to give you some key dates, okay? Tomorrow on the 4th, Venus is squaring Mars. So Venus it actually moves into Leo, and it's going to start to square Mars in Aries. Mars is going to be in Aries till, like we said, January. And this is an energy that can be explosive or it can be playful competition. Venus is the planet of love. So as we come into the Labor Day weekend, be aware that we have a choice of whether we want to be playfully competitive or explosive. Mercury is also in the mix there, which makes this a really creative energy over the next 2 days, the 4th and the 5th. If you have anything that is creative that you want to do, the beginning of this weekend is really the time to do it. Friday and Saturday. A lot of really super creative energy. It's a great time to actually finish a project that you've been really wanting to create. But all I would say is if it's anything to do that you have to work with other people, etc., make sure that you are watching your words and watching your communication, because that Mars energy really does make it sometimes communication difficulty. On Saturday, Mercury moves into Libra. Yay! Mercury is our thoughts, the way we process things. So September 5th, it finally goes into Libra. And what happens is we lose that critical Virgo mind. That critical mind that constantly asks us, why are we doing this? Are you crazy? Is the whole world crazy? Blah, blah, blah. That's going to go away. And now the Libra energy comes in, and our thinking is far less critical. It's more focused. Our thinking actually is balanced. We begin to see the other side instead of just needing to be right. So this is going to calm things down a little bit, but we've got a lot of other energies stirring the soup. But at least I think for some of us, depending on where that energy is in your chart, it's going to get us where we want to be, as long as we focus on the right action and the dynamics of love and unity and all the good emotions. This is great for fair-mindedness and negotiations. So if you have anything that you need to talk to somebody about, that you're trying to, win over or negotiate, the 5th and the 6th are great days to do that. On the 6th, Venus moves into Leo. Yes. Now we're really cooking, because now we got some of that annoying energy comes into different places, and it makes us feel better. When Venus is in Leo, it's in a fire sign. It's out of that Cancer energy that's all watery and emotional, and it makes us more expressive. It's demonstrative. It's outgoing. It expresses our needs and desires. So now with that, with Mercury now, our thoughts being more balanced, and Venus going into Leo this month, where now we really can verbalize our desires and our thoughts, we might get some motion. We might get some forward movement on some of those things we desire in our careers and our relationships, in our life. The only thing is, when they both move into those signs, also remember, we still have that Mars energy of watching the communication. So while it's a great time to negotiate and kind of win people over to what you want, also you want to be careful how you do it. On the 9th, the Sun trines Jupiter. This is where the hope and the optimism comes in. When we all go back to work on Tuesday after a long weekend, you're going to start to feel that optimism later in the day. And by Wednesday, things start to look really good for all of us. And the Sun trines that stuff in Capricorn. So it's going to trine Jupiter, and then Pluto on the 14th, and then Saturn on the 17th. And this will relieve a lot of the pressure that we're feeling. So between the 9th and the 17th, you're going to feel a little bit different. But remember, on the 9th, Mars goes retrograde and starts to heat the other stuff up. So can you see where we have gas break, gas break, gas break? We've got this optimistic energy coming in, but Mars isn't done with us yet. So we got ways to go. On the 10th of September, for those of you who are doing inner child work or deep work, Mercury is opposite Chiron, the planet of the wounded healer. This is a need to communicate in an old way, in a new way about old things. I'm sorry. This is an energy of wanting to communicate in a new way about old things. So for those of you who are working on, like I was just describing at the beginning of the broadcast, things that are long-term patterns, around the 10th of this month, it's a really great day to journal, have deep discussions, go to some kind of therapy or ritual, because this is the day where your patterns are going to be able to be resolved without blame and with forgiveness. That's the 10th, when Mercury opposes Chiron. And then we have some major things coming up. The Sun is going to trine Pluto, I said, on the 14th. This starts off energy around the middle of the month where things are revealed once again. It's that pattern of things coming up and being revealed. Around the 15th, you're going to see Venus starts to do some squares to Uranus. And that's a time when we release energy, but it's hard to release it. So you've got this energy that comes in around the 10th with a lot of our wounds and the things we've been working on for a while, helps us release, forgive without blame, and that kind of thing. And then just a few days later, that Venus energy kind of wants to take all that back. And it wants us to break free even in a more powerful way and confront the things we didn't confront before. So for those of you doing a lot of deep work, you're going to do a lot of deep work this month, but it's really going to free you and pay off. Just know that. So now I want to talk about the other really deep asset that happens this month is the new moon in Virgo. And normally new moons are not as powerful. You know, we don't talk about them as much as we do the full moons. But this new moon is so extremely powerful. This is about your personal power. And this new moon, and I'll do another broadcast about it, but this new moon is a jump start to manifesting physically in your life what you want to bring in. Whatever that is for you, a new job, a new relationship, a new place to live, whatever it is, the new moon that comes out, it's a new moon in Virgo at 25 degrees at 7 a.m. on 9/17. Mark your calendars. This is energy that plants a seed that is going to grow into a forest if you work the energy right. This is so unbelievably powerful. I've been talking about all that stuff in Capricorn all year, right? Well, this moon is exactly at 25 degrees of Virgo. It sextiles Saturn in Capricorn at 25 degrees. And the new moon means the sun and the moon are in the same place. So we've got the sun and moon sextiling Saturn in Capricorn in an exact configuration. What does that mean? It means that Saturn is being lit up by the two biggest luminaries in our hemisphere, the sun and the moon. So this is absolute flow of energy. It's a back and forth critical moment when you're going to plant a seed. There's no way it can't grow. This is manifestation at its finest and highest energy form. This is the acorn that grows into 20,000 oak trees. So 9/17, that is the new moon that you want to really maintain your critical thinking in a way that grounds you and stabilizes you. And you want to put laser-like focus on that seed because this is a Virgo new moon, and Virgo is a laser-sharp focus energy. Virgos don't ever stop until the last thing is in its place. That is the energy you want to harness for the seed of manifestation, whatever it is that you want to manifest. This is where, during this new moon, we are going to separate what is useful from what is not useful and focus on what is useful in order to manifest our dream. This is about being useful. This is about love, not hate, kindness, going into all of the positive emotions that you can harness. Now, whatever you want to manifest, whatever it is that you are planning, that you are wanting, that you are desiring, that you are creating for yourself, whether it's a project, a business, a love, a move, whatever it is, okay? You must back it up with action that shows the universe you are taking the action to do it. If your seed is you want to get healthy and you want to lose a tremendous amount of weight or something like that, you must start the diet. You must start the gym. You must do whatever it is you are supposed to do. That is how you manifest in this particular energy. It's the flow of equal balance in the universe. So whatever action you take, the universe is going to respond to. So make sure whatever your desire is, you have something that you are doing that shows the universe through action that manifestation is there, that the cosmos, the planets can hook on to that energy and bring it forward for you to create with you what you want to have in your life. All right? So that is, of all the dates out of September 17th is where you really want to be. Because right after that, then we've got Mercury squaring all that stuff in Saturn. And what that's going to do is that is going to bring us the stability. It's also going to make our thoughts very critical. But if we stay grounded in positive energy, we can use that to show us where we have to go and where the wrong turn is. So this is huge energy for that. You have to hit the nail on the head and stay focused and grounded in the energy, completing the tasks that have to be done in order to manifest this. It's work. It's effort. The universe is ready to reward you for it, but you've really got to step up to the plate and do what the universe is expecting you to do in this energy. Okay? And then right after that, we've got the autumn's equinox, 9/22. This comes in and it brings a whole new energy, a whole new season. All month the planets, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Moon on the new moon, are dancing with that Capricorn energy that we've been talking about since January. And it's really volatile. It's hot energy. It's negative energy, but we can use it for assertion, right? That gas in our car that makes us flip off in traffic or lose our temper with our partner or be frustrated at work, that gas in the car is the same gas that can get you where you want to go. It's just how you use that Mars gas. So I want to talk really quickly about the equinox, and then I'm going to go to comments and stuff. The equinox this year is some really amazing stuff, and I'll talk about it in more detail. But what I'm going to say is, with that new moon that comes in on the 17th, and then the equinox energy that comes in later in the month, you want to really zone in on that. And I'll talk about that more in future broadcasts. But this is where we can really find the solutions to a lot of the problems that have been frustrating us all year. So I'm going to go to the comments now and answer as many as I can. But this month is just so chock full of stuff. I'm going to talk more about the energy later on. But if I had to really tell you guys the best use of the energy is build your plan for your dream. And when that new moon comes in on the 17th, you want to really talk to the universe about what you want and then go into some kind of action that shows it. Because don't forget, we've got that Mars going retrograde on the 9th. You got to check yourselves because we're all going to want to be flipping off that day. It's a hot energy. All right, so I'm going to go back to some questions. Okay. Good to see you too, Bonnie. What is happening around the world? Boy, so much. We need to, I put a post up today actually. We need to make sure we get our information from the source. We're getting to a point in the world where there's so much deception because of Mercury and Neptune and a lot of other planets that we need to watch live video as it happens, not replayed. We need to, when we listen to candidates, if politics is your thing, very, very strong advice I'm giving you is to watch the speeches, listen to the speeches in real time, because the broadcast replays and the commentaries and the news afterwards is a lot of misconception. It's a lot of misguidance. And if you're trying to make decisions that are really important to you in your life regarding anything on current events, you must listen to the broadcast live as it happens so that it cannot be misconstrued later on. I have been doing that, and then sometimes I'll see a commentary after, and it's all, to be quite frank, lies. Like the candidates never said those things, or they totally misconstrued or took a soundbite so that it was out of sequence. Very, very important for us to take responsibility for what we are understanding as truth and what we are repeating as truth. So we all have to be responsible for truth in this climate. It's not about Republican, Democrat, black, white, religion, you're wrong, I'm right. It's not about that. This is about humanity and having the integrity to know what truth is, because you have made the effort to do the research to understand what is true. All right? And I'm sorry if I got on a soapbox about that, but this past week, I tested a lot of things out by watching live things happen in real time and then going back and seeing how they were replayed to people and the American people and people all over the world, and it was a bunch of BS. So watch your live broadcasts. Okay. Why is Libra the only sign that does not represent a living or organic entity? Basically, it's just the way the zodiac is written. Libra is an energy of balance. So we have all these other energies, and then when you get to the house of Libra, it's where you're going to balance those energies. So we have to have something that's inanimate. But if you want to think about it, all of the archetypes of the signs, while some of them are living, breathing, not all of them are reality. You know, like Sagittarius is the centaur. So they don't really exist, right? But there are a caricature, an archetype. So, you know, that's just the way it is. And astrology's been around for 5,000 years, so. Cancer energy right now, you guys are probably going through some things with relationships, very seriously. Rosemary, Cancer energy right now, you want to love somebody, you want to be close to someone, but there's obstacles in the way, whether they're from the three-dimensional world or emotional obstacles or whatever they are, they will pan out after the retrograde, but more towards 2021. So you've got a little bit of time to go. But use them as your lessons and make sure that you are observing whatever is happening and find a way to put more love into your life. Bonnie, I'm doing a staff training on mindfulness for our staff. Yay! If ever they need anybody to come in and do that, that's what I do for a living. I'm a certified wellness specialist, corporate wellness specialist. That's okay. What's going to happen on September 9th, you might find the class a little bit unruly maybe, because there'll be a lot of energy in the room. But also what happens with, I'm also at my Earthbound job, we're actually kicking off a huge project on the 9th. And it's also a training project. And what I'm thinking is that it might be good because as the planet slows down, it does slow down a little bit more of the energy. It makes it deeper. So I think you'll be okay. I really do. I also think that the energy that day, to be honest with you, I think there's some optimism, you know? So you'll be okay. I think as Mars goes further into its retrograde, I think we are going to see, and I hate to say this because there's so many provocateurs out there inciting things, but I think you are going to see the lawlessness and the violence in the world reach a fever pitch before it dies down and is corrected. I think it's just the way it goes. Bonnie says, on the self-care committee, met today and making plans for the month. I love that you have a self-care committee. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. And remind people also, Bonnie, that self-care isn't just, you know, the physical body and making sure you're healthy. Self-care is also not allowing toxicity in your life. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to actually walk away with love. You know, not with a snarky comment or any kind of negativity, but really put yourself in a place where you are honoring your soul and your life, right? Any other questions for me? We've got about 10 minutes left in the broadcast. There were a few other aspects happening on the 9th as well, Bonnie, but I think you'll be okay. The best thing I can tell you all about this energy is that it's happening really to bring us to a higher level than we've ever been before in our lives. And I know that sounds really cliche, but I have to tell you that when I start to look back, to me September is my January. I've been a career real estate broker my whole life, so and now I do wellness for a large real estate company. And so I have a tendency in September to treat it like my January because I'm planning already for 2021. And so I think that when I look back on this year, it's been a hell of a year, but I also have to say that it's been an amazing year for learning for me, and I feel so much stronger in myself, and I'm sure a lot of you out there feel that way as well. It becomes a blessing, really, to have so much isolation and so much introspection. I kind of say, looking back now, I actually really enjoyed a lot of it, and I got to do a lot of things that really I think are going to help me in my next phase of my life. So I'm excited about that. Has it been challenging? It has been really challenging for me, especially. I've had a lot of changes this year, and I know for a lot of my friends out there as well. But you got to keep the faith, right? I truly believe all this is happening to bring us all to a much more elevated and higher aspect of love in our life. And so this next week till we meet again, I would say, if we have any homework, it's just Mars in retrograde is pushing our buttons because it wants us to find ways where we can bring more love in our life, you know? And it's just like when you have an experience with someone, you have a big blow up with them, and then you end up closer than before. That's what this year is like, you know? We're going to have slang for 2020, and we're going to be saying, oh, that person's 2020 for crazy and all that kind of stuff, but we're going to look back on it fondly because I think it also gave us some gifts. I do regret that there's so much violence in the world. That really alarms me quite a lot. I don't like that at all, obviously, coming from where I come from, but I also think that that's the only way some people learn. You know, human beings learn through wisdom or pain, and I don't see a lot of people reading a book right now. So maybe we need to pull out the libraries again. It's either wisdom or pain, people. We only learn through those two ways. All All right, so if nobody else has any more questions or comments, I got a new comment here. Okay. Yeah, totally agree, right, Sarah? Yep. Okay, I think that was everything. So this week, I would say the dates to watch out for are November. I keep saying November. September 5th, because that is the day when some things change. And we've got, where's my calendar here? The broadcast went so fast. Maybe I was talking too much. Because that's when Mercury moves into Libra, and then on 6th, Venus moves into Leo. So this weekend, you are really going to feel an energy change, a really big energy change. And it's going to be better. It's going to bring us a little bit of pressure release. So it'll be nice. I have family coming this weekend. I haven't seen them since Christmas. So I'm really looking forward to that. So you can find me here on the Soul Space every Thursday at 6:30. My lives on my Facebook on Tuesdays at 7. And I am actually writing a course right now, which is going to be a 4-part series. It's called Places in the Heart. And it's actually designed for us to overcome any blockages that are limiting us from living our life purpose. And I will be telling you more about that this week. It's an amazing course that's coming out. I put my heart and soul into this course, and it's going to be really amazing. It is limited to only a certain number of people, and I'll tell you all about that during the week. I'm going to do a special video about it. So I just want to thank you all. It has been a pleasure these last 9 months doing these podcasts, and hopefully I'll be back in the studio soon, whether it's at Gov's or whether it's my own studio. And I just want to say that your support means everything to me, everything. So if you get a chance, also hop over and like my YouTube channel. We've got more videos for you over there. So I don't think there's any more comments. I'm going to hang up. All of you have a really, really safe weekend. And we'll get together again next Thursday at 6:30. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.